5 Q1 Deuteronomy. Language, Hebrew. Date, 250-150 BC. Location, Qumran Cave. 5 Deuteronomy 7:15 Yahweh will take away from you all sickness, and he will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which you have seen and, 1, which you know, on you, but will lay them on all those who hate you. 16 You shall consume all the peoples, whom Yahweh your God shall deliver to you. Your eye shall not pity them. You shall not serve their gods, for that would be a snare to you. 17 If you shall say in your heart, these nations are more than I, how can I dispossess them? 18 You shall not be afraid of them. You shall remember well what Yahweh your God did to Pharaoh, and to all Egypt. 19 The great trials today, which your eyes saw. 2 The signs, the wonders, the mighty hand, and the outstretched arm, by which Yahweh your God brought you out, so shall Yahweh your God do to all the peoples of whom you are afraid. 20 Moreover Yahweh your God will send the hornet among them, until those who are left, and hide themselves, perish from before you. 21 You shall not be scared of them, for Yahweh your God is among you, a great and awesome God. 22 Yahweh your God will cast out those nations before you little by little. You may not consume them at once, lest the animals of the field increase on you. 23 But Yahweh your God will deliver them up before you, and will confuse them with a great confusion, until they are destroyed. 24 He will deliver their kings into your hand, and you shall make their name perish from under the sky. No one will be able to stand before you, until you have destroyed them. Deuteronomy 8:5 You shall consider in your heart that as a man disciplines his son, so Yahweh your God disciplines you. 6 You shall keep the commandments of Yahweh your God, to walk in his ways, and to fear him. 7 For Yahweh your God brings you into a good land, a land of brooks of water, of springs, and underground water flowing into valleys and hills. 8 A land of wheat and barley, and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive trees and honey. 9 A land in which you shall eat bread without scarceness. You shall not lack anything in it, a land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills you may dig copper. 10 You shall eat, and be full, and you shall bless Yahweh your God for the good land, which he has given you. 11 Beware lest you forget Yahweh your God, in not keeping his commandments, and his ordinances, and his statutes, which I command you today. 12 Lest, when you have eaten and are full, and have built fine houses, and lived in them. 13 And when your herds, and your flocks multiply, and your silver and your gold is multiplied, and all that you have is multiplied. 14 Then your heart might be lifted up, and you forget Yahweh your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. 15 Who led you through the great and terrible wilderness, with venomous snakes and scorpions, and thirsty ground where there was no water, who poured water for you, out of the rock of flint. 16 Who fed you in the wilderness with manna, which your fathers didn't know, that he might humble you, and that he might prove you, to do you good at your latter end. 17 And lest you say in your hearts, my power and the might of my hand has gotten me this wealth. 18 But you shall remember Yahweh your God, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant which he swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. 3 As it is today. 19 It shall be, if you shall forget Yahweh your God, and walk after other gods, and serve them, and worship them, I testify with the heavens and the earth, against you today that you shall surely perish. 20 As the nations that Yahweh makes to perish before you, so you shall perish, because you wouldn't listen to Yahweh your God's voice. Deuteronomy 9:1 Hear, Israel, you are to pass over the Jordan today, to go in to dispossess nations greater and mightier than yourself, cities great and fortified up to the sky, to a people great and tall, the sons of the Anakim, whom you know, and of whom you have heard say, who can stand before the sons of Anak? 1 Matches the LXX. 2 An unclear word is inserted here. 3 Matches the Samaritan Pentateuch, and implied by the spacing. 4 Matches the LXX. 6 3 Deuteronomy. Language, Hebrew. Date, before 68 AD. Location, Qumran Cave. 6 Manuscript type, papyrus. Deuteronomy 26:19 He will make you high above all nations that he has made, in praise, in name, and in honor, and that you may be a holy people to Yahweh your God, as he has spoken. 1 Q3 Deuteronomy. Language, Hebrew. Date, about 50 AD. Location, Qumran Cave. 11 Deuteronomy 1:4 After he had struck Sihon the king of the Amorites, who lived in Heshbon, and Og the king of Bashan, who lived in Ashtaroth, at Edrei. 5 Beyond the Jordan, in the land of Moab, Moses began to declare this law, saying, Deuteronomy 2:8 So we passed by from our brothers the children of Esau, who dwell in Seir, from the way of the Rabbah from Elath and from Ezai and Geber. We turned and passed by the way of the wilderness of Moab. 9 Yahweh said to me, Don't bother Moab, neither contend with them in battle, for I will not give you any of his land for a possession, because I have given her to the children of Lot for a possession. 28 You shall sell me food for money, that I may eat, and give me water for money, that I may drink. Just let me pass through on my feet. 29 As the children of Esau who dwell in Seir, and the Moabites who dwell in Ar, did to me, until I pass over the Jordan into the land which Yahweh our God gives us. 30 But Sihon king of Heshbon would not let us pass by him, for Yahweh your God hardened his spirit, and made his heart obstinate, that he might deliver him into your hand, as it is today.